Well, welcome to the number one reason a man won't ask you on a second date. I'm Jeannie Goodwin, and I'm the author of a program called Looking for Love. It's my program to help single people who are looking for love and either struggling to find it or struggling to keep it. And this is one of my free video tips. Ladies, this is for you today because I know how confusing dating can be, and it can be painful when you think you had a really great time with a guy on your first date, and then he doesn't call for a second one. What happened? What'd you do? What's wrong with you? As I always say, when it comes to dating, heartbreak is optional. It is not mandatory. So let me help you out of the confusion. There was a survey done of thousands of men, and they asked these guys if they weren't going to ask women out on a second date, why? What is the number one reason men do not ask women out on a second date? And this is what the guys said. The number one reason, they're too bossy. When they ask these men, what do you mean by bossy? What specifically, how is she bossy? What these guys said is overriding suggestions. So he said, if I've made reservations at a place, we're going to have a great time, and she says, I'd rather go to this place. Couldn't we rather do this instead? He received that as bossy, overriding suggestions. Now, ladies, I know that is just the way a woman is, trying to be helpful. But understand, this is a guy, and that is not how he takes it, especially on a first date. Hear me closely now, because when you do that, overriding suggestions that he didn't ask for, he actually receives it as if you think he can't handle it. He's not a good enough of a man for you. He couldn't give you a good evening. He actually takes it as a cut to his masculinity. This is a huge difference between men and women. You need to understand it, ladies, and not judge it. If you were to judge this as if this was something wrong with men, you'd miss out on the amazing gift that men are. They so want to please their women. They so want to give women a great time. It's much more important to them than you could ever even begin to understand. He is a man. It's important to him. So on a first date, let him lead. You can always let him know what pleases you, so it's easy for him to do it and for him to give you a good time. That's actually very helpful. Let him know what pleases you, what you like, but don't let it come across as he couldn't handle it and he needs your help to get it done. That would be a bad way to start a date, and you wouldn't get a second date according to men. The second reason, you're going to love this, was giving unasked for or unsolicited advice. That's tough because, if he's talking about, I'm having this tough time at the office, or, dealing with this or that, and you start saying, I would do this and I would do that, blah, blah, blah. He actually takes it as you are being bossy, telling him what to do. Now, realize, ladies, this is always the key to making things work with a male-female relationship. You're in relationship with the opposite. And I know a woman thinks nothing of giving unsolicited advice. In fact, it's so different for women. If she doesn't give unsolicited advice, she actually receives it as she doesn't care, or he doesn't care about me because they didn't tell me what their opinion was, or what they thought, or what somebody else did, making all the connections that women make in their conversation. But you're not in a relationship with a woman. You're on a date with a man, and it's the opposite for men. Unsolicited, unasked for advice is not welcomed. So spend your first date getting to know him, not telling him what to do, and your first date will go better for both of you as you get to know each other and decide whether or not you actually want to have a relationship. Another reason men mentioned they wouldn't ask for a second date was they received you as high maintenance. You needed to change tables a number of times. The food didn't show up right, or you ask the waiter for 14 different ways to serve your meal. High maintenance to a man means he's not going to be able to please you. And it is so important for men to please women. You've got to get this. It's so important to men. to have a happy woman. So try not to be high maintenance. Try to be easily pleased. And the third reason that men used that they wouldn't ask a woman out on the second date was she was blah. That was the word they used, blah. She just seemed uninterested, wasn't happy about her own life or anybody else's life. She just was uninterested. Those were the top 3 reasons men gave of why they would not ask a woman out on a second date. Too bossy, high maintenance, and blah. So if you want a great date, make it easy to be with you, easy to be pleased, easy to be happy, and you'll have a happy guy on a date. Men will thoroughly enjoy being with you. But let me just give you a little caution, a little caveat here, because I know how women are. Women have this amazing gift, this great need to please. And it is a gift that women have. But my caution to you is don't use this gift, pleasing men, to be inauthentic. To just be happy for the sake of being happy, because that won't serve you or him. You need to actually show up as you, but you need to understand you're on a date with the opposite of you. So talking about things that he hasn't asked you about or offering advice to fix him or fix the situation is going to have a real problem with you, and he's not going to be interested in a second date, let alone a relationship. So I hope that served you. Stay tuned. I'll be sharing more with you in the next video. If you aren't signed up to receive these videos, just go to my website, livesuccessnow.com. Put your name and your email address in under the Looking for Love video tips. I'll be sure to get you the next videos as they come out. And if you know of someone this could really help, women who aren't getting second dates, please forward this to them. Let's get people loved and loving. Until the next time, go show someone some love.